Hi, everyone. I'm Steve here with Pastor Victor Brote. Thanks for being with us, Pastor.
Hi, so glad to be here.
All right, people get caught up in, worldly things and get caught up in their emotions and get caught up in the moment and with their stuff. And, on my other YouTube channel, it's called Vitality and Wellness. I just get the tar beat out of me. It doesn't matter what I say. I get the tar beat out of me. And it's like people just have so much, you know, emotion that they spew negatively. And I think that sometimes we just forget what's important and what eternity is going to be like. And anyway, I just think we get caught up in the moment too much and just with stuff. So, what do you got for
Yeah,
us?
well, this is great for that, and I'll just read it for now. This is radical. Listen to this. And everyone who has left houses, or brothers, or sisters, or father, or mother, or wife, or children, or fields, for my sake, will receive 100 times as much and will inherit eternal life. But many who are first will be last, and many who are last will be first. There's a lot there, and I I, I read this, and I mean it's a familiar passage to me, but it just struck me as there are people who give up so much to walk with Jesus. It may be a family member, a person who's important to your life. They just don't accept Jesus, and throughout the ages, people have said, "I choose Jesus," and that's a hard choice to make. It doesn't just snap. For me, it took me a while. I believed in Jesus, but to give up the stuff, it's it's still a struggle, but it's just it's so radical, and that's what Jesus calls us to, a radical stepping out with Him, not to just dump people, but if they're refusing anything about Jesus, you don't have that connection, and it's so hard to think in those terms. And even fields, that means investments, the things that we invest in, to give those things up. Wow.
Yeah, that's my stuff,
And
man.
this is sort of like, yeah, all these things are sort of like social security or guaranteed income or investments. People protect you and you invest in them. That's especially in that age. There was no, care for the elderly. So if you didn't have a family to take care of you, you were in a tough situation. And people were just following Jesus, even though some of their Jewish relatives, their Jewish family, just said, no, 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 we're not going to do that. I have nothing to do with them. And you got
Yeah.
to choose, and they chose. Wow.
It's human nature for us to get just caught up in our stuff, you know. That's my
Yes.
stuff. And but what really strikes me about what you just read, 100 times more. How do you even multiply
Yeah.
your stuff times 100? That's a lot. And I'm kind of being
It's more than you ever need.
goofy here, but your stuff. I mean, he'll 100 times more if we don't take ownership of it. It doesn't mean we're not supposed to manage it and use it for God's glory, but it's when you take
Yeah.
ownership of it and start to depend on it, that's when you're, you know, getting a little out of balance.
Yeah. And this passage calls us uh, to consider the priorities of who Jesus is. And I've watched so many people, and even just the other day, I sat down counseling with somebody, And we just discussed how it's so easy to hold on to things, even our expectations. His wife was sick, and he just being very impatient. And I relate to that. My wife had been sick, and it's like you just want to fix it and get over so you have your friendship, or have somebody to do things for you, whatever role that goes on. And giving those things up is hard. But when you actually give up our the things that we demand, it gives us a freedom. It really gives us a total freedom. And yeah, I see that 100 times over. It's just, it is so good.
Yeah, when you let go. Well,
Yeah,
as always, we appreciate your input, Pastor, and thanks for being with us.
great.